I heard them talking about. I think Thomas Tuchel. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah,
PSG
Tuchel.
manager.
Tuchel.
Yeah, Tuchel. Sorry, he wanted to. He was like, they don't rate Rashford. Like, people don't rate Rashford in this country. They'd love to bring him over. I think English players like Joe Cole did, going to Lille, go to the French League, like go there. I feel like the league.
But you know, it's like you can only go to one team.
Not PSG.
No, but that's the truth.
big players, yeah.
Like Rashford is a big player. Commercially,
you can't
and
go
all,
to anywhere else.
you couldn't go to any other team
falling out of like
out of favour, big time.
I think it depends on your level of experience. If you're a player just coming up and wants to get more first team exposure, you can.
So, League One.
No,
So League One. Oh, yeah. I keep making that mistake. Yeah.
French Premier Division.
So League 1
Yeah.
is often referred to as a quote unquote the Farmers League.
The Farmers League.
By a lot of fans. I don't know, for me personally, I mean, do you guys keep up with the French League at all? Or?
Here and there. So I often see PSG like 20 points ahead, and I just move on to the next league or go back to the Premier League. I'd say I'm probably more Premier League focused. Yeah, but I keep my eye on it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do, because I play Football Manager quite a lot, right? So I do, I watch highlights mainly, as opposed to watching actual games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Eurosports are pretty good with like the highlights of the league and BT Sports as well, so I catch up with the highlights just to spot any like hidden gems, hidden talents and things like that, because they do have quite a few out in that league, so it is quite interesting.
I think Farmers League is, I don't know, I think it's a bit harsh. I think, again, I don't really keep up with the French League too much, but as Richard said, I think when you look at the league table some seasons, you see PSG or the top team in that division are way ahead by leading by 30 points, and automatically you feel as if it's not a competitive league. But I always tend to judge other European leagues by the performance in the Champions League or the Europa League. Yeah. So how far did they get? I think apart from PSG in the 2019-20 season, I've not seen too many French teams sort of appear in the latter stages of a European competition. I think the last team to do that was probably Monaco, I think, in the quarterfinals against Man City. But if you're rolling back the years and look at teams like Marseille, Lyon in the late 2000s, they appeared on the scene. But I feel as if because leagues are not competitive, people have perceptions that it's like a one-horse race or it's a two-horse race. I think even La Liga got that tag at one point as well, and it's Madrid and Barcelona until Atletico came in the mix. And
it still is really
you think
it's still the same. It's still the same.
Okay, I mean, so why do you guys think that people kind of give them that tag? Why is it a Farmers League, do you think?
I don't really know where the Farmers League, when it became the Farmers League, to be honest with you.
It's a social media term, but yeah.
It's just, you're right, I mean, thinking about it, Marseille were the dominant team, then Lyon, and I do remember the French, they had a particular season, I think Lyon played Bordeaux in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, I think it was, when they had Juninho. I can't remember who, I think, did Bordeaux have Waterloo at that time? They might have had Waterloo at that time.
What, the Arsenal Waterloo?
The Arsenal Waterloo. So I can't remember if he was in that squad or if he'd already left. But I've always admired the French league in the sense of, if I think about all my friends and when I was, for example, when I was at university, a lot of the international students would come over and we'd have tournaments, and some of the tournaments were the guys that were from France, quite clearly of like Congolese background or some sort of African background, but they are but obviously and I used to sit there and think, you know what, these guys are mad talented, these guys can play ball, and it made me think about some of the players that even come from that league, and I thought to myself, a lot of these players could really go toe to toe with our mid-table Premier League team. And if you think about it, what really got me thinking was, why is the Premier League not considered a Farmers League at one point? Because Man United dominated for so long. No one even got close to them for like 3 or 4 years. Arsenal tried. Chelsea had a go. Prior to that, no one really got into that. So is the Premier League even really that big in comparison to Ligue 1?
I think in 2020 it's back in those days.
Financially, yes it is.
Yeah.
Commercially, yes it is, because money talks.
Yeah.
But if I'm talking about player for player,
you're right. There are hidden gems in those leagues. I think.
Hidden gems, they're there. They're not hidden.
But
it's just commercially.
People don't talk about them.
The light shines in the Premier League because Bolton versus West Brom versus Wolves. Actually, that's quite a big game. That's a big derby.
That's a derby.
Milivojevic versus
Midlands derby.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that another day. But I'm trying to give you a random one. Like, I don't know, who's in the league right now?
So right now, if we was to say like
Crystal Palace.
Oh God, that's harsh.
Yeah. No, I like
that's harsh.
Okay, Crystal Palace, but they're not.
But then I do get it. Like if you say Crystal Palace is playing Who just came?
West Bromwich Albion or something.
Yeah, like Crystal Palace vs West Brom. That's not really a game, is it?
Exactly. And I can guarantee Marseille will brush them teams apart.
Comfortably.
3-1, 2-1, 1-0, but they'll beat them.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They're better than them.
Yeah.
I just feel like the top teams in the Premier League are top teams, and so they can obviously beat top teams in France. But teams like Marseille and Lyon have just as good a chance as beating our Man Uniteds, our Arsenals, our Chelsea.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Francis, do you think that when it comes down to entertainment factor, the Premier League that's the league, isn't it? I think you're looking at relegation battle, the top 6 battle. So I think a lot of people, when again, it's a foregone conclusion in the Liga, in the Serie A, in the Liga. Yeah. Whereas in the Premier League, you never quite.
You don't know
who's going to finish.
Anyone can be anyone.
Now you don't know.
Yeah.
Now you know, but you also got to think about it again. You have to take it back commercially. I don't actually know how they divide their money in France, but in Spain, Barcelona and Real Madrid get the biggest share.
Yeah.
And the rest is given to all the little teams. I remember on Sky Sports 1 when they used to watch the league shows, and the rest of the teams just showed that very quickly in the last 10 minutes. And it was like Real Madrid and Barcelona's games.
Half an hour.
And they talk about it for half an hour. Then it's like 10 minutes of the guy talking over, oh yeah, Aibar scored against Villarreal. And so in France, I think French football's even on Eurosport. And I forget that I even pay for Eurosport.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I would calculate it. But it makes you wonder that it's really, I don't know, if they divide their money that way, then probably that's why it's not as competitive. And obviously PSG have got a lot of money.
Yeah.
Lyon really did it by themselves.
Yeah.
They worked hard, they built, and they probably went and plucked the best players, but they worked to get to that position. Whereas PSG, it's just been flat out bullying.
It has been.
It's just
on their
been
part.
bullying. I don't know how you get motivated.
Look at Monaco. I think Monaco 2014, 2015, they had a really good
Well, because
squad.
they had a lot of money.
They had the Russian guy.
Yeah. But that's good players. I had Bernardo Silva was there, Mbappe was there at the time.
Yeah,
because they had the money.
Martial was there the season before.
Yeah, 2014. Yeah, you're right.
They did have money, and you know what? It's because the guy's wife divorced him.
And then,
So yeah, he's like, no, forget it. But I was actually I was getting excited at the fact that there was another team to challenge. And I do feel like if people like the rich and the wealthy can see some potential in French football, go and get a team. You think about Bordeaux, the wine city.
Yeah.
Marseille, obviously on the coast.
It's true.
You know what I mean? There's a few clubs that you could tell them. Like Marseille got the Stadium Velodrome or something like whatever they call it. So you've got to think about the fact that there is potential there. But I mean, I don't know the market of France.
It's difficult, like you mentioned, right? The Premier League has the big commercial side to it. It is a machine, right? And you know, you can't replicate that machine elsewhere. The only reason why we talk about La Liga is because of the El Clasico.
Yeah.
Now, if that wasn't there, we wouldn't really care for
it's not
La
going to be
Liga.
there when Messi goes. Nobody's going to care.
Well, yeah, and it starts all over again, right? You know what I mean? So it's one of those ones where, you know, look, great teams in that league. It's just unfortunate that PSG have so much, you know, finance behind them that it really is, you know, second and then everyone else, like, you know, like that's where the competition lies.
But do you think if more French teams got to latter stages and actually won the European competitions, do you think that people would have a different judgment on the leagues over there?
Yeah, definitely, because I guess, you know, like how Sevilla picks up the Europa League every year, you know, you kind of think, well, you know, that's a pretty decent team, and maybe I might want to have a look at, you know, La Liga, because they've won it how many times, and it doesn't matter what manager. 5 times,
10 times in a row.
So,
like that.
and it doesn't matter what manager's there. That team just knows how to win that particular competition, right? So it would help if they did, but
what about the national team though? I mean, the national team.
The national team doesn't correlate to. That's what I'm saying. The players are.
But it's the same thing though when you look at the Spanish team. Their national team is based off just Madrid and Barcelona, and we pluck one or two from here and there. And it's the same with the French one, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
but within the team that won the World Cup, for example, apart from maybe Matuidi at the time, how many players in that team actually played in the Ligue 1 at the time?
There was a.
That's true. So we had Giroud,
we had Lloris, Kante was, you know, there.
Yeah, Kante was gone.
Koeman was at. Koeman was it Koeman?
Yeah, Koeman.
No, there was the Marseille winger.
You got
Tovin.
Tuvan,
he was there still.
But he was on the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You had Fekir as well,
Nabil Fekir, that's
Leon.
Was he at Leon then and then went to Betis?
Then went to Betis.
I think so,
yeah, he was at Leon then and went to Betis.
Pogba as well, Kante,
and their whole back.
MTT
Barcelona.
I think if you think about it, these players, if they were in the French League, it'd be hella competitive. But the
it'll be competitive, but would they even be known like that? Do you see what I mean? Because again, the commercial stuff, side of it is just not there.
The thing is, again, a lot of scouts nowadays get their players based on the European competitions, summer ones like Euros or the World Cups or the Champions League. So, for example, if it wasn't for that Monaco team in 2014-15, I wouldn't know who Bernardo Silva was, Bakayoko, Mbappe, because we don't watch that league. So we kind of base our judgments on players based on their Champions League.
Because it's changed from when the World Cup and the Euros. Because players, I remember Ferguson was never a fan of buying players from after a good World Cup performance. I think the last player he bought was Poborski.
I think it was Kleberson, I think.
It was Clemson, sorry. He did one with Ronaldinho, but I remember following that deal. So the World Cup in Euros has now been changed to the Champions League. It shines a much brighter light, and also there's more chance to show your abilities because obviously you play them twice. And you obviously get the group games in your group if your team is in there. So there is that opportunity. I don't know, the Ligue 1, I don't not rate the Ligue 1 or Ligue 1, sorry.
Let's have it right.
I just think someone needs to come in, like Lyon or a team like Lyon needs to come in and provide a stern challenge to PSG consistently. Then we'll start seeing eyes shining bright towards them. If you think about it, Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, maybe because we had no other football, for 2 weeks everyone was like, oh, they're so close.
That's a big game,
they're so close, they're only 2 points off, and then it went away. But they need a challenge, PSG. They don't want to stay motivated. At the end of the career, the players can say, I won all this stuff. But they need some other teams to step up, 100%. I don't know if it's down to the coaching. I definitely know commercially it could be a lot better. And they're a well-supported league, like the French League.
The French, they back it.
Personally, I heard them talking about, I think Thomas Tuchel, is that how you pronounce his name? PSG Tuchel. Sorry, he wanted to. He was like, they don't rate Rashford. Like, people don't rate Rashford in this country. They'd love to bring him over. I think English players like Joe Cole did, going to Lille, go to the French League, go there. I feel like the league.
But you know, it's like you can only go to one team.
Not PSG.
No, but that's the truth.
Big players, Like
Rashford is a big player. Commercially,
you can't go to anywhere else.
You couldn't go to any other team
falling out of
favour, big time.
I think it depends on your level of experience. If you're a player just coming up and wants to get more first team exposure, you can.
Yeah, but nobody knows you. But we're talking, if they're saying that we don't rate your best players in your league, there's only one team they could go to. Do you see what I mean? And that's always the problem. Like what you're saying with the younger lot, which want to be seen, they all end up in Germany. Sancho. Then you got Bellingham, you know what I mean, and there's a few others which want to.
I think you went back when Owen Hargreaves started playing as well for Bayern Munich. He went. I think he's Canadian. But again, he was English at the time, and he went and made his name, won the Champions League there, and people start to kind of recognise that you can go abroad. Exactly.
But I mean, for him to say that like Rashford, they don't rate him. That's nuts.
But who
he was saying that he was talking about the English media or whatever that we don't rate him in this country enough. And I've heard I watched the United stand on
YouTube. Did he forget what Rashford did to PSG when they played them?
It was a penalty.
No, it was a penalty. But his overall, like him playing, he played very well. In the second leg,
actually, he did play.
He played very well. So I don't know.
We're going to have a whole other conversation about Rashford because we're just going to have to. But I feel like it's hard to put your finger on Ligue 1. I like the league and I feel like it should be respected. But the figures show that for the last 15 years or 15 years is one team that will dominate. Actually, even before that, in the 90s, it was Marseille. And I've read someone someone in the 80s. So it must have been the 80s to the early 90s was Marseille. Then it was a toss-up for whoever. PSG fell off that for a while. And then I think Lyon got in charge. And then...
and then PSG.
And in between that, I know Bordeaux won and I know Montpellier won. That's why Giroud came in. And it's always great because we even had Leicester City. You always get that once every 10 or 15 years. And it's brilliant to have. It's hard to pinpoint. I personally don't underrate the league because I know that the players that come from there. But as a league and how it's packaged, it can be sold better. Otherwise, they're going to have the Farmers League tag. You understand? They are. I feel like they maybe need to. I don't know. You can't just tell PSG you can't spend money anymore. But the other teams are going to have to either step up their coaching ways to rival it. Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise, it's always going to be like that. I mean, I know Neymar's bored in that league. He's got to be.
I think
he probably regrets going there. I don't know. I think if he stayed at Barcelona, I think he'd be a bit happier. But
I don't think he regrets it because people like Neymar are driven by money. You know what I mean? So I don't think he regrets it.
I'm quite surprised by him though. Because usually at this age they start to falter. But
but he's still going.
He's still very good.
It's because...
But in that league, who's really kind of challenging him every week?
No. He gets kicked to bits and everything, but I just feel like he understands football far beyond these men. Like, it's a game to him. It's literally playing FIFA.
He's Brazilian, isn't he? So.
Yeah, it's FIFA to him. Like, some of the stuff I've seen him do, it's like, this is a total joke.
Because I look at him, I watch how his body has changed. I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, can he still do the same things in a year's time? Will he be able to do it when he's 29? Is he going to change his game and become a lethal striker? Is he going to fall off like I expect, like most Brazilians do? Adriano, Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Mario,
all of them.
They all fell off. Kaka.
All of them.
Kaka fell so badly, yeah. I was so sad when he fell off, man.
Yeah, it was sad because he's such a humble guy.
Yeah, very.
It's the knee injuries.
For 5 years.
It's the injuries.
Yeah.
It's the injuries.
His acceleration was beautiful to watch when he goes past the player.
At Milan, he was at his peak.
Oh, I remember he did.
Inze.
I remember that as well, yeah.
Hey,
Old
look,
Trafford,
man,
I remember that.
let's let it go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's safe to say that we feel that it is not quite the Farmers League.
No.
You know what I mean? It definitely doesn't.
It's not a Scottish Premiership.
That is the Farmers League.
That is
That's an appalling league.
It's very shocking.
We'll have another 20 minutes to slander them one week. I'm excited because, like, firstly, we shouldn't be playing 3 times a week here.
Yeah.
3 times against each other. Second of all, make the league 20 teams.
Yeah, it's true.
You understand? And somebody knocked Celtic off their fucking perch, bro. It's getting ridiculous. If Stevie G can't do it, he ain't never going to win a league title.
It's true.
I think Brendan Wyndham won like the treble like 3 times or something.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
That's like